Very good. תודה רבה. Okay, finally we got it. We got it. Wait, AI is asking me, Yofi. Wait, what does AI want from me? Close. I don't know. This is all too complicated for me. Part of the class as well. What? Yeah. Okay. Boker Tov. After a series of difficulties, we finally managed to start class. Okay. Managed to make it through the traffic jam, managed to turn on the thing. But wait a minute. The computer is going to go off soon because it's not plugged in. 1 minute.
Oh, we took it to the kitchen, you see. Oh, that's nice.
Okay, it works. They said that, wait, now I need this. This also needs to be plugged in. Sorry, 1 minute. Today is, this shows that I really want you to come like 10 minutes before class, not like 10 minutes after class. Okay.
It happened.
Beseder.
Okay,
Okay, can you hear me?
Today, so it's okay.
Excellent. Okay, I think that now we have it all set up. Beseder. Okay, so everybody needs a Tanakh. Okay, we are continuing with our story about, who did we start last week? We're looking at chapters 4 and 5, Prakim Dalet and Hey, both the same story, but each from a slightly different angle. Perek Dalet, chapter 4, is prose. The story of Barak and Dvorah told from Shmuel's perspective. Chapter 5 is poetry, told from Dvorah's perspective.
I'm not sure.
Did you find it?
Which in
We're in the book of Shoftim, the book of Judges, chapter 4.
that's 591.
Okay. Beseder. So what have we done so far? So far, right? Wait, I want to open up here. I sent you the PowerPoint we had last week also. Oh, I definitely had an idea of how to open. I'm sharing the PowerPoint on the computer. So at least all you people in Zoom land, at least you get, for a change, to get a you get a upgrade. There we go. Okay, wait, no? Yeah. Beseder Gamur. Okay, so what we started doing last week, okay, was just what we sometimes call setting the table. To set the table means giving us the background that we need in order to understand what's taking place in the story. And we're looking now, if you've got your phone, so you're looking at slide number 2, but you know that you could sit next to me and see the thing, right? Okay, so we're looking at the, I just sent the PowerPoint now, so you could, you want to sit on this side? Here, wait. Yeah. Wait a minute. Here we go. Send this. Wait a minute. This and this. Okay, listen. That's mine. Okay. If you look at the second slide, what I have over here is a picture, 2 maps. Do you have a phone?
Yeah.
Okay, so open up the PowerPoint that I sent. If you got it, okay. You can see 2 slides. On the right-hand side, we have a picture, a map of the whole of Israel. It's a topographical map, right? And we can see the how Israel is constructed in a topographical manner, right? We can see the clusters, the mountains. Can you see, like all along the spine, Israel's spine, like between the Jordan and the sea, there's a lot of mountains. That's actually Yehuda v'Shomron. We're on these mountains over there. If you look above the Kinneret, can you see the Kinneret? This is why I need like a thing over here. have to try solve that problem at some point. But can you see the Kinneret? Yes. Okay. So on our right hand side of the Kinneret are the Golan Heights, right? Heights, they're high. And on the left hand side are the Galil Mountains. That's what Tzfat is, for instance. Those are high mountains. But if you look very carefully on the left hand side, there's another map. That's a close up topographical map of the area that we are going to be, where our story takes place, or part of the story takes place. And if you look, do you see that little chupchik? You know the word chupchik? Chupchik is a good word to know. Chupchik? Yeah. Like something that sticks out. That is Haifa. So you see Haifa? That little chupchik that...
Is it this?
No. 1 second.
It's like the little like pointy thingy on the left side.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. This one.
Yeah, wait a minute.
You see?
On the other map she's showing.
Yeah. If this is... Okay, if this is Israel... So this is like incredibly inaccurate. Okay, but at least it gives you the idea. This chupchik here is Haifa. Okay? Okay, this is Haifa. And Jerusalem... Jerusalem, anybody have any idea where to put Jerusalem?
Down.
Over here, more or less. Okay, Yerushalayim is a little bit over here. Okay, and Ramallah, which is where... Why do we need to know where Ramallah is?
Because that's where Dvorah.
That's where Dvorah lives, okay? That's a little bit higher up, more or less. Not exactly, more or less, just give you a basic idea of where things are. Okay? So if we're looking at the map, so if you have a map that you can open up and see, do you have a phone?
We're looking at it.
You're looking, okay, beseder. If you look, over here, there's a valley. Do you see the valley? Between the mountains. Do you see? So you can see it on the, it's very clear when you look at the left-hand topographical map. Okay? This is Emek Yisrael. Right? All these songs. You know that song, yeah? Okay, so that's very fertile, that land. Okay, but why is it important to know where there's a mountain and where there's a valley? Okay, so in a moment we're going to see that this valley over here is very, very important for understanding the whole dynamics of what is going to take place. Okay, let's see, what else did we do last week? We didn't. Oh, we're about to do the next page. Beseder Gemur. So we started speaking about. Did we start speaking about the people in the story? So let's look at the people. Okay, that's very important. So I want you all to look at chapter 4, and if you see a person, okay, raise your hand. Okay, we're starting at. The other thing we did last week, very, very important, we saw the cycle, right? What's the cycle? What's the first stage of the cycle?
They calling out for help.
They sin. The first stage is that they sinned. What happened next?
They get reprimanded.
How?
Enemies are coming to them.
Enemies. Hashem, He reprimands us by using us enemies, right? So there are enemies, and who are the enemies in this story?
They judge them.
Wait. First, we'll still let the enemies. Who are the enemies in this specific story, in the story of Dvorah? You can take a look at the first 4 verses of the chapter.
It was the Sisera, the Canaanite.
Okay, so there are a few words that were said. The Sisera was said, Knani was said, and Yavin, right? What is the relationship between these 3 names that I've just said?
A lot.
One of them is a nation, one of them is a leader, one of them is the army general. Mm. So what's the nation? Which of Canaan? Canaan is the nation, right? It's actually, the word Canaan is an umbrella term. It includes lots of different types of tribes that are living here. The Emori, the Chiti, the Girgashi, right? There are a lot of different tribes. They all together are Knaani. And who is Yavin?
And who is what?
Who is Yavin?
It's the leader.
I need a more specific.
king of Canaan.
He's the king. He's the king of the Canaanites. And Sisera, who is Sisera?
General's army.
He's the general, okay? This is a very important introduction for these people, right? Yavin and Sisera, because they're major players in our game. Okay, so we had the Jewish people sin. Hashem sent an enemy, the Canaanim, under the leadership of Yavin and Sisera to give them trouble. In a moment, we're going to see what trouble he gave them. And what happens next? After Hashem sends us enemies.
He sends us judges.
No, you can look at the verses. Look at the verses. What happens after the enemies?
Oppress the children of Israel for 20 years.
So that's the enemies. Oppress the children of Israel. And now what happens?
What did God do?
No, Pasuk Gimel, verse 3. Sin, oppressed by enemy, and then what happens? What's the third stage?
They call out to Hashem.
Very good. They call out to Hashem. This is our cycle. It needs to be that if I wake you up at 2 o'clock in the morning, you say, "What, Tsipi? They sin. Then there's the enemy comes, and then they call out to Hashem. Sometimes, not always. After that, what does Hashem do? He sends.
But it's
Judge.
I sends a judge, and then what happens?
Redemption.
And then redemption, and then what happens?
And then the cycle continues.
And then the cycle starts
But
again.
I don't see everywhere that before the judges there's a call out. Like for example, in number 2, there's a whole same following. Of the
What
events.
number 2? What do you mean number 2?
in
in-
before the falling.
In-
I went back a little more.
But number 2, you mean a chapter 2 or
Yeah.
verse 2?
Chapter.
In chapter 2, from chapters 1 and 2 are the introduction to the book, right? I don't know if you were here. Let me just repeat it. The first, it's not exactly 2, but the first chapters are introduction to the book. The last chapters are a summary of the book, and in the middle we have the theory, which is presented in the introduction, and it plays out again and again and again, each time with using a different judge as an example, right? And one of the things that I suggested was that you make yourself a chart so we can follow the development of the story, because even though it seems at first that it's exactly the same each time, it's not. It's not. There are changes. Things are going to change as we go along. And it's good to keep track of it. And I actually meant to bring you a table like that, and I didn't, so I apologize. But please, next week, I'll do that. And then you can all, even if you don't, prepare one. You'll have one that you could use. Beseder Gamur. Okay, so we are now in the middle of the story, because we've only reached that point where Yavin is oppressing them for 20 years. So 20 years is a long time, right? Each one of you think, how old am I, right? And think to yourself, either this is before I was born, or from when I was 5, so all my life would have been like this. Okay. Now our story opens. Now that we've had all our introductions, our story can open. Who is the first character we meet?
Torah.
Dvorah. What do we know about her?
She's a prophetess.
She's a prophetess, which is an unusual thing. It's an unusual thing, also just to be introduced like that. Oh, here's Dvorah, she's a prophetess, right? But also because she's a judge. So we have a woman who's a judge, which is an unusual thing. Like even today, if you look around in the world, which is all supposed to be progressive and everything, how many countries have female prime ministers or presidents, right? That's definitely the minority. But she is the leader, and she is a leader who is a judge, who is a prophetess. And that means that she is a very special person, just on a spiritual level. And of course, the interesting question for us will be, okay, so she's very holy, but does that make her into a good leader? Is she the type of person that people follow? Is she able to have an impact on people, right? Because if you got somebody very righteous, so all the righteous people are going to go to the righteous person. But what about the people that aren't so righteous? Like, are they also going to reach out? Is she going to reach out to them? Is she going to have an impact beyond her own small scope? And that, of course, is going to be a very interesting question. So what do we know about her? We know that she is okay, we're going mamash word. What's the next thing we have?
Eshet lapidot.
Eshet lapidot. So very interesting. Anybody here know what smichut is?
Smichut?
Yeah. Eshet.
Smecha is blanket. Nismoach is to trust.
Yafeh. Wait. Okay. Okay. So let me help you a little bit.
A blanket and trust.
I didn't actually. Okay. It's from the word smichut, right?
Smicha.
No. In this case, no. From the word samach.
Samach. Samach.
No. This is samach, to be happy, and this is samach, is to lean on something. To lean on something. So when we say smichut, we mean that one word leans on the other. How does a word lean on the other? For instance, the house of the sick people is called like bait shel cholim. Is beit cholim. Beit cholim. The house of the sick becomes, this is a smichut. Instead of bait, it's beit cholim. The house of books is beit sefer, right? I'm trying to think of a smichot that you might be familiar with. I'm drawing a blank. Another smichot. A million smichot. But what it means is that this word is describing it. In other words, bait cholim, the house of the sick people. So when we look at eshet lapidot, right, it's isha, right? The hay turns into a taf and smichut, right? So it's either she is the wife of a man called lapidot, or that lapidot describes her, that she is a woman of, what's a lapid? A torch. Okay, in other words, there are two ways grammatically understanding this description. She either is the Eshet Lapidot, the wife of Lapidot, which would be very cool if we knew anything about Lapidot, but we don't know anything about him. He doesn't appear anywhere. The other option is that she is a Eshet Lapidot, that this is something which is describing who she is. Okay? Now,
but it's generally understood as wife of lapidot.
No.
No?
Either way.
Okay.
You can understand both ways. Depends who you happen to be reading.
Yeah.
That's all. But it could be either one. What else do we know about her? I'm still on that first verse. On verse 4.
She was also a
So this is a shofetet, right? She is a shofetet. And she is shofta et Israel be'etahi. She is the judge. In other words, I think when we think about all the other judges that we've had so far, she's the first one that there's a feeling of presence. This is like it's a present, it's not present progressive exactly in Hebrew, but this is something which is taking place all the time. She is the judge. And not only that, we even have a description of where she has her audiences. Where does she have her audience?
between Ramon, Beitel, and Mount Ephraim.
And what else does it say?
Children of Israel go and listen to her judgment.
She sits under a tomer. She's got a tree, like the tree that everybody knows where to find her, and that is where she sits, and she receives people. And people from all over come to get judgment. When we say come to get judgment, that means they've got difficulties, they come for advice, they come to give to court rulings, for her to tell people what she thinks they should be doing. What's very interesting about Morah, we'll see in one moment, right? It says, "V'ya'alu eleha bnei Yisrael mishpat." The people came all the way in order to speak with her and get judgment. So that's what really tells us a tremendous amount about this woman, right? That she's a prophetess and she's out there, and people reach out to her, and she's there for them, because if she wasn't there for them, people would stop coming. But she does something else which is unique, and only one other judge in the whole of the history of this 300 or 400 years of judgment did the same thing. What is the first thing that we hear specifically that she did? That's the next verse, verse 6.
She sent and summoned Barak.
She sends and summons Barak. Okay, so here's another person we've just met. Barak, where does Barak live? Barak ben Avinoam, where is his house? Kedesh Naphtali. Right, so last week I think I had you open up the tribes and look at it. Naphtali is all the way on the top above the Kinneret. So he lives like on the other side of the Kinneret. So we have here somebody who's in Beit El and she's calling somebody. In other words, what we described a minute ago is people coming up to her and she's available. Here she is, not available but proactive. It's her own volition. She decides to call him, which is an unusual thing. It's a difference between active and reactive. She is a reactive person. She decides something has to be dealt, something has to be done, and and it's her incentive is to call out to him. The only other judge that we have in all the judges who is proactive in this way is Shmuel. He also travels around, going from place to place to see where help is needed. So really, I think the more we think about Dvorah in terms of a comparison to Shmuel, when we think about Shmuel as being really one of the most, who was also a Navi, but we think about Shmuel, who is one of the most, one of the best leaders the Jewish people ever had in the things that he managed to do, she's like him. She's a Shofet, she's a Navi, she's proactive. We'll see in a moment other things that she does which are very similar to things that only Shmuel managed to do. Only Dvorah and Shmuel managed to do some of these things. Well, as we go along, we'll continue looking at them. But I think that even without having heard her open her mouth even once, we already understand that this is a very, very special type of person. So she calls Barak and she calls him. Now, that's very far. Does he know who she is?
Yes.
Does he think that she needs to be listened to? Like if you get like this email, hi, my name is, and I'm a dean of such and such college in the Caribbean, and I want you, like you stop first and you say, is this phishing? Right? You think to yourself, is it Bemet? Who is this person? Should I listen? Should I not listen? How does he respond? He comes. Dvorah called him. He didn't send it to her. She sent to him. And he comes, and it's a long journey. And he comes because she calls him. And what does she want him to do?
She wants him to take people somewhere else.
And like fight in that army.
Go toward Mount Tabor.
She wants him to draft the tribes into an army, create an army. There's no army, but he must create an army from people from all different tribes and go and engage Yavin in battle. Now, if you think about it, to be a soldier, it actually is a profession. I know that we don't usually think about it. You think, oh, what do you need? You need a gun, and you go like in all the TV programs. It's not. To be a soldier, you have to learn. You have to learn how to shoot, how to aim, military tactics, how to work together, who's going to be in charge, who's going to listen, right? How do you fight in a place that's built? How do you find, there's a lot of stuff you have to learn. That's why soldiers have basic training before they become soldiers. And then she just says, okay, take these guys and they'll go fight this king who's been oppressing us for 20 years. And you think, slicha? Like, what do you think? How is this going to happen?
Wow.
It's like a very, very, very big request that she's making from him. And she has got a whole battle plan, which we're going to go to in a minute. But first the question is, why? Why does she want it? What is going on? It just said to us that he was oppressing them for 20 years, but we don't understand exactly why. So let's flip for a moment to the next chapter, because in Perek Hey we have a description of what's going on. So take a look in Perek Hey. Okay. We look at verse 6. Okay. it's out of context a little bit, but we need these verses just to understand what's going on. Bimei Shamgar ben Anat. Who was Shamgar ben Anat?
He was a different judge. His mom was like the idol.
So Anat is the name of an idol. Nachon. Shamgar ben Anat was the judge. We weren't sure if he is a judge on his own, if he was the deputy of Ehud ben Gera. We weren't sure. But it says here, in the time of Shamgar ben Anat, in the time of Yael. We're not sure who Yael is. We're going to get to her in a minute. Chadlu orachot. The caravans, as in like the procession of like a caravan, like that you travel. You know, just think to yourself a picture of a lot of donkeys tied to each other traveling. Okay, chadlu arachot, volche netivot yelchu arachot akalkalot. And people that wanted to travel had to go in all different crooked ways. So take a look at your map now. Okay, Yavin has control over the whole area of Emek Yizrahel, that whole valley area. The Jews are on underneath that valley and above the valley, but they can't cross the valley because in between, splitting the Jewish people in half, well, really 2/3 and a third, is Yavin and Sisra, and from this place, they are ruling over the people. They're going in, they are stealing, they're doing whatever the things that they do that are oppressing the Jewish people. And the Jewish people can't get together, and they can't travel, and they can't move around because they've got like this blockade of Canaanite warriors.
Berlin Wall.
Like a Berlin Wall, only it's a Canaanite Berlin Wall. Yes, exactly. Right? And it's enough. Right? Dvorah has decided that it's enough, and she wants to send them off to battle. Now, if you go down, flip one more page on your PowerPoint. Okay, I just want to introduce you to Sisra's army. I just want to. We'll get there. Don't worry. I'm a fan of that. I just want to introduce you to Sisra's army. What do you see? Look at the picture. Just on your PowerPoint, just go one more page.
It's a war.
Nachon, it's a war, but what else do you see?
A woman that's standing.
No, it's an Egyptian, I'm afraid. Just happened to have long hair. Or like a thing.
I have Yael in my head.
Okay, so I want you to see, this is a picture of chariots. Chariots?
It's very pretty though.
It's a very impressive picture. So if you look at the chariots, you see you have horses and chariots with wheels, and on the chariots you have warriors, right, with the arrows and now what's very interesting about this picture is that it's actually telling us why having a chariot is so good in war. What is it in the picture here that helps you understand the power of the chariot?
The horse.
So first of all, you've got a horse. So why is that good?
It's huge, it's big, it's powerful.
A horse is big. Has anybody ever been in a demonstration when a horse was brought in to disperse the demonstration?
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
It's very scary. It's not these cute little pony rides.
The people on top of the horses when they do that, but like, yeah.
A horse is a massive animal, and it comes on you, and it's terrifying. And if a horse lands on you, that's not good. Not for you, right? So that's one thing. Is a horse is a very, very scary animal, and it can really push people out of the way because they don't want to get trampled by the horse. Why else?
It gives you height, it gives you visibility, it gives you strength.
So when you're shooting arrows and you're higher than everybody else, your arrow goes further, and you can see better where you want to aim, and you don't have to walk through all your enemies because you are higher up. Okay, that also gives you a lot of protection. What else?
You have
Storage.
space.
So, if you look at these chariots, they have two wheels. It's basically two wheels and a platform. So there isn't really too much storage place. You maybe have place for an extra quiver for your arrows, but that's it.
There
What
was
else?
A special spot for Sidurim also.
Especially in the Egyptian chariots. Okay, what else?
I don't know, just more bodies in general is a positive thing for army.
So take a look a moment and think, okay? When you have a chariot, the chariot can just drive. And if you look at our picture, do you see all the people trampled underneath the chariot's wheels? Right? In the 7th of October, when there were a few tanks, not enough, but at some point when the ammunition was finished or the shooting the things malfunctioned, they just ran over terrorists. They just drove. Sorry, it doesn't sound good. They just drove over the terrorists and they killed terrorists that way. But here you have a chariot. The chariot just as it's like a tank. It's the tank of the ancient world. He has strength. The horse is stronger than the person, and he can take the army faster to further away places, while the army of people takes it much longer to move, right? Because they move slowly, they have to carry everything with them and, stop and take camp and stop and take camp. But if you've got a horse, you can ride out and come back. So having a chariot is a very, very significant thing for the army. It's like having a foot army against an army of tanks. And Sisra has chariots. And Dvorah doesn't have chariots. So we're entering into a battle, which is... No, these are Egyptians against some kind of a Semite people.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure who they're fighting against, but you can see that the Egyptians are winning, right? So Dvorah is asking Barak to go into battle with an army of untrained soldiers against an army of trained soldiers, against an army that doesn't have any weapons, against an army that's a professional army and has weapons, against a foot army, against a tank army, an army of chariots, right? And she thought he was going to say yes, which is the most amazing thing here, right? And what does he answer her?
That he needs a secret weapon.
And the secret weapon is
Her.
you, right? Im telchi meilech v'alachti v'im lo telchi mi lo elech. If you come with me, I'm there.
I'm in shock. I heard this there's so many times about the whole after what's coming, but I never knew that it was because Barak was just like, oh no, I'm not going alone. I need women to be with me. That's let's literally he called for the rest of this to happen, and I had no idea that it started with him asking that.
So I think
It's crazy.
so. It's very interesting. I think that on first hand, if usually we look at him and saying, you scaredy cat, right? You need a woman to come with you. But I think that when we understand what he was up against, I think that it's tremendous that he just said, yes, here I am, but I need you. I need you. Why does he need Dvorah?
She's access to God, and she.
I can't do it on my own. It's got to be connected with God. I got to have you with me, and we'll be a team, right? We'll work together. But I, on my own, don't feel that I can do this. Now let's take a look for a moment at Dvorah's plan. Okay, so we're looking at verse 6 and 7. Okay, now if you we're back in Dalet. We're back in Dalet. Okay, now I want you to read. If you flip the next page, okay, go up one more page, okay, on your PowerPoint, and you can see two things here. On the right hand side is the map of the tribes. Okay, we're going to look at that in a moment. And on the other side is Har Tavor. Har Tavor, if you ever go up to the Galil, okay, this is the Galil Tachton, the lower Galilee. In other words, on the other, it's before you reach Emek. So you see that everything is flat, and Har Tavor sticks up, right? It's not like the Galil Ha'elyon where it's all full of mountains, right? Here everything is flat and the Har Tavor is high. I want you to see if you can work out what is her military strategy. What is she planning to do?
Maybe to force them to go into Jewish villages.
Wait, read what it says in the Psukim.
Sorry.
Like delivered him to God.
Great idea.
Like he's that's what she said. Or she's saying like, "Behold, God, I shall deliver."
I'm looking for the military tactics.
Well, 10,000 men.
That's part of it, but read the whole thing first and then try and understand what's going on.
Aroshet Goim, it's
Charoshet HaGoyim is the name of a city where Sisera was. We don't know where it is now. I mean, now we don't know where it is. In other words, then they knew. But
Shem panics Sisera.
I think from the beginning she like from the beginning she's saying that it's like she's planning this thing with it's almost as she already planned it with Yael, because from the
why with
beginning
Yael?
she's not really explaining.
No, she's not explaining
She's
the
not
whole
really
thing.
explaining how she's gonna win it, but she is explaining. She is saying from the beginning that this is gonna be that they're gonna be delivered by the hand of a woman.
No, but that's in a moment afterwards. That was after he said, so that's not before, okay? Pasuk Vav, right? And she says, Lechu mesharta b'Har Tavor. I want you to go to the Har Tavor and take with you 10,000 soldiers from Naphtali and Zvulun. Okay, so look on the other map. Do you see Naphtali and Zvulun?
Mm-hmm.
You see the two tribes? If you look at your here, take a look on your phone on the map, on the phone. One more, not no. Go the slide after
it's
you get them one at a time. Okay, it's that one. Yes, yeah. Okay, so I have Naphtali and Zvulun, and you also have that over there, which is also very convenient.
It's much easier to see.
Yeah, and she says take 10,000 soldiers and wait on top of Har Tavor.
why 10,000? What is that number representative of?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people, though. It is a lot of people, and good luck for him to collect all those people. And what is she going to do meanwhile? Notice that she's not just sitting on the side. She's not like a wallflower decorating over there. She is also taking an active part in this battle. Umashachti elecha nachal Kishon. I will draw to Nachal Kishon. Nachal Kishon is at the bottom of the mountain, below the mountain. Now, I just want to explain one thing in Hebrew. In the Tanakh, when the word Nachal is used, it doesn't necessarily mean a place with water. It means a place where water can be. In other words, in Israel, there are two types of there's two types of. There's a Nachal Achzav, or a fik, what we would call today a fik, 1 minute, and a Nachal Eitan. Anybody know what Eitan means?
Newspaper.
There's a name like that. Eitan means steadfast. So a Nachal Eitan means a steadfast river. That means a river that always flows. Give me an example in Israel of a Nachal Eitan, a river that always has water. The Yarden is a Nachal Eitan. There's always water over there. Or the Yarkon is also a river that always has water. There aren't too many Nachalim Mecharim in Israel, okay? A Nachal Achzav, what does Achzav mean?
I don't know, but it's probably the one
It means-
comes seasonally.
Yes. Achzav means a disappointment. That's a sad name for a river. And Nachal Achzav is a river of disappointment. In other words, a river that sometimes has water and sometimes doesn't have water. Often it's seasonal, right? If there's enough, like in the desert, like Nachal Tzin, right? Has a tremendous bed, but it's almost always dry. But if it rains, it's a massive flood, right? That's an example of Nachal Achzav. Or in modern Hebrew, we call it an afik. Afik is like the riverbed, right? Even without the river, just the afik, or sometimes with. Okay, so Nachal Tavo is a Nachal Achzav. In other words, it's a seasonal river. Most of the time, there isn't any water over there. When there's a lot of rain, the riverbed fills with water, and there's a lot of quick flowing river until the flood finishes. Okay, so at the moment, is it raining? Is it the season for rain? It seems like not, because she's planning to draw Sisra's army to the riverbed. Et richubo v'et kol amano, all the multitude, untatiu biyadecha, and I'm putting them in your. So we spoke about a minute ago about how wonderful chariots are, but chariots have a very big drawback. What drawback do chariots have?
You have to feed them, forcing get scared.
So you have to feed them, you have to look after your horses. That is true. But there's another big drawback that tanks.
If the horses die, then you're just kind of screwed.
That's also true, and that's what happened to Paro.
It's big.
Can a chariot climb a mountain?
No.
It can't. Chariots are fantastic on level land. They can go up a small hill, right? But they can't go up a mountain. So the chariots can't go up Har Tavo. They're stuck in the valley. It's a big area. You saw the map. That whole area of valleys is very big. So there's plenty of place for Sisera to have a strong battle and win. But if Barak is on the mountain, he's safe relatively from Sisera, because Sisera can't climb up the mountain. So what Sisera is going to do is say, okay, you wait there, no problem. I'll just camp around the mountain and wait for you to get hungry and thirsty enough to come down and fight. Because there's not too much water up there. He can't support his whole army over there. So Sisera, so far as he's concerned, this is a great idea. I'll just wait until you're too weak to fight, and I'll finish you off, and I'll be victorious. So it's easy for Dvorah to draw him in, but this was the plan. So it means that somehow, through some tactic, Barak is going to fight them. Now we don't know exactly what the original tactic was, because that's not what happened in the end. But it's possible that the original tactic was that part of Barak's army would go down from one side of the mountain and start running away. That would draw Sisera's army after them to chase them, and then the main body of Barak's army would go from the back and attack Sisera from the back. Now, it takes time for a tank to turn around, right? And if the chariot is turning around with all the soldiers around them, that also creates havoc. So they had a chance of perhaps being victorious using that type of a tactic. But the price would be very big, because all those soldiers that were the bait, most of them wouldn't make it. Okay? So this is very possible that was the original plan. And you definitely needed God's help for this to work, because it wasn't a very, very strong plan. But that's what she would think. Okay, so this is the plan. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think about like Masada, where it's like attacked on all sides, and it's like very like drawn in. Like it seems like a very dangerous plan.
So Masada was built as a fortress, and it took them a few years to break the fortifications. So it's a little bit different, because here there's no fortification. It's just a mountain with trees. So when he hears this plan, he says, "I'm going, but you're coming with me." Okay. And she says, okay, but just know that you're not getting the glory. A woman will receive the glory. Do they know who this woman is? Dvorah might know, right? But she hasn't been introduced yet into the plot, so we don't know. Ki biyad isha imchor Hashem et Sisra. Vatakom Dvorah v'telech im Barak Kadesha. And she gets up and she goes with Barak all the way up north to where the battle is going to take place. I want you to notice that Dvorah lives very far away from the Knaanim. Nevertheless, she feels that it's her responsibility to change what's going. Okay, how does the plan start? ויזעק ברק את זבולון ואת נפתלי קדשה, ויעל ברגליו 10,000 איש, ותעל עמו דבורה. He gathers the soldiers, the people, and he go up to the top of the mountain, and Dvorah goes with him. Meanwhile, our camera moves, and we're introduced to a very important character, whose name is
Heber.
You didn't hear. She's not. Doesn't say her yet. Wait. So we're going to meet the people. We have another people mentioned here. Chever HaKini. Who are the Kini? They are the children of Chovav, Choten, Moshe.
Father-in-law of Moses.
Who's the father-in-law of Moses?
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
What's the father-in-law of Moses? What's his name? We know it. We know him by a different name. We're used to calling him something else.
Wow.
There's a whole parsha named after him. Yitro. Now, okay, requires a lot of memory to remember from last semester, right? We spoke about the Kinim last semester, right? We spoke about the Kinim, that they received, when they came with Israel, they received Jericho. Do you remember? They received the city of Jericho, a very fertile land. But the Kinim decided, are we staying in Jericho, which is very fertile? What did they decide?
No, they went back.
They didn't want to stay in Jericho. Instead, they followed Otniel. They followed Otniel ben Knaz down to Arad. Why did they leave the fertile land and follow Otniel? Who remembers? Because they wanted to learn Torah. No, because they felt that where they are now, there's too much financial attractions. They're busy with the fields, they're busy with the dates, they're busy with the fertility of the land. They joined Am Yisrael to learn Torah, and they're too busy with everything else. They don't want that. They want to go to a place where they can learn Torah without distractions. And they go down south to where Otniel ben Knaz lives. Who's Otniel ben Knaz? Open up chapter 3. The judge. He's the judge. He's Kalev's younger brother. And they go and live over there so they can learn Torah. So they all living down south. But one of the families, the family of Chever, travels up. He goes up and he travels all the way up north, right? And he's residing somewhere else. He's split away from them. And he lives in Elon Batzananim, which is in Kadesh. Right in that area, there was also an area of a few Kinim. Okay. So now we're going to read. It's funny, I think this is like a much more guy element type of a chapter. We have all these army tactics and the war and the blood and the this, but it's very, in a moment, Dvorah's, and I think here we'll see the difference between Shmuel's chapter and Dvorah's chapter. We'll see in a moment, right? Okay, so I'm reading now verses 12 to 12 to 17, okay? And see if you can work out what's taking place. ויזעק סיסרא, ויגידו לסיסרא, כי עלה ברק בן אבינועם הר תבור. ויזעק סיסרא את כל רכבו, 900 רכב ברזל. How How many tanks does he have?
900.
900. Do you realize that that's a lot? It's a fortune. This is a massive army.
Especially with only 10,000 Israelites.
Yeah. ואת כל העם אשר איתו, right? We didn't even count the foot soldiers yet. אל נחל קישון. ותאמר דבורה אל ברק, קום! כי זה היום אשר נתן השם את סיסרא בידיך. הלא השם יצא לפניך. וירד ברק מהר תבור, ו10,000 איש אחריו. So what happened so far? Is everything according to plan? Where did Barak go? Did he go on the mountain?
No, he descended.
He started on the mountain. Where did Sisera go? Did Sisera catch the bait and go into the riverbed? Yes. Hook and sink. Right? And then Dvorah tells Barak to do what?
Wake up. Come.
Go down. Go down the mountain. Right? And that Pasuk Tedvav is going to, something is going to happen. We don't know exactly what. We're going to have to read Dvorah's account to understand what. All of a sudden we have another participant. Who is the next participant? In verse 15? God. All of a sudden God shows up, right? וירם השם את סיסרא ואת כל הרכב ואת כל המחנה לפי חרד לפני ברק. God did something to make terrible turmoil in the army of Sisera. And everybody, Vayam means that everybody was like fighting against everybody else over there. And everybody, and they killed each other up, right? And all of a sudden the army disintegrated because they fought against each other, or something else happened. And what does Sisera do? He panics and he runs away. He ascends from his chariot and he runs. Where does he run? And Barak sees him, and Barak is chasing after him. Okay? ויפול כל מחנה סיסרא לפי חרב, לא נשאר עד אחד. The whole army was destroyed. Nobody was left. We got Sisera running away. Okay? So let's follow Sisera, because at the end of the day, in any battle, but especially in ancient warfare, if you got the head, the army was finished, because there's nobody giving orders and there's nobody keeping the battle going. So you got to get Sisera. So where does Sisera run to? I'm going to read to you the next few verses. וסיסרא נס ברגליו אל אוהל יעל אשת חבר הקיני, כי שלום בין יבין מלך חצור ובין בית חבר הקיני. Where does he run? To Yael's house, because they're not at war. The Kinim, they're at peace with everyone. They're at peace with the Amaleki. They're at peace with the Jewish tribes. They're at peace with the Knaani. They're a small tribe. אנחנו לא עושים בעיות, אל תעשו לנו בעיות, right? We're not doing anything, you don't disturb us. And here we have the meeting between the two of them. So I want you to read the verses, verse 17 to 21. Okay, I want each of you to read it. Okay, and I want two volunteers. Who wants to be Dvorah? Who wants to be Yael? Who wants to be Sisera? You want to be Yael, נכון? I knew. Who is willing to be Sisera? You have to have the whole conversation. Okay, בבקשה. You'll be Sisera? No, in English I think it's easier for everyone here. Take a moment, read the verses, okay? And tell me when you're ready. Do you need 2 minutes to talk, or you can just ad-lib it?
We can ad-lib it. We'll need that.
Okay. Turn aside. I'm sorry.
Right, no, but you have to meet each other. How are you going to meet each other on the other side of 3 tables?
I'm chilling. I'm in my home. You have to
Oh, yes, exactly. You're running. Folks, you got to watch.
Hi.
You know what? Wait. Do it here so that the people on Zoom can also see. There you go.
You were chilling in my home. Oh, you have to cover me with a blanket.
Here's a blanket.
turn
Can you
aside.
see?
Does it start here? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Turn aside, my Lord. Turn aside to me. Do not fear. You need to turn aside to me.
Wait.
There's the blanket, Julia.
Okay.
Turn aside. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Everything is gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be fine. Oh, good. You want tea also?
Now, what are you going to give him to drink? Not tea?
Give me no water to drink. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty.
Do you want some milk? Do you want some milk to feel better? I think you need some. I'm giving you some milk.
Woman, stand at the entrance of my tent, and shall be that if any man will come and ask you and say, "Is anyone here?" You'll say no.
Of course. Okay. Now I'm looking for the peg.
Wait, but first, she's sleeping. Okay.
The milk put her to sleep. It worked. The blanket and the milk worked.
Oy vavoy.
Now I am looking for the thing that holds my tent in the peg.
That's your peg.
It
Yeah.
is the peg. Ah! Wow!
Okay, so. Okay, wait. I need Barak.
Barak!
Who's Barak?
Who's Barak?
You're Barak. You want to be Barak? What did Barak do?
Juliet, Yael, who is?
Wait, we're waiting for Barak to come.
Yes, I'm Yael.
Okay.
Okay, wait,
you're
just catch up.
Just like celebrating.
Wait. Okay, what's happening now? But come to the window. Come to the camera. To come closer to here so people can see.
Okay, but I can't see.
Wait, who stopped Sue?
I'm pursuing.
Wait,
this one
but
now.
Yael.
She calls me.
Yeah, you have to call her. Call her. She's looking for Sisra. Okay.
Barak! Come and I will show you the man whom you seek. He came. But no.
Oh.
Look.
And then this must be sticking out of his
Yes,
head, like.
this is still inside of his eye, I think.
Wow.
In his. This is the raka.
It should be.
Yeah, right? Like.
Okay. Okay. So Barak, what have you got to say, Barak? It doesn't say in the text. So you saw.
You're a hero. Well done.
We killed him.
We killed Barak, and then the result was
Killed Sisera.
פסוק כ"ג ויחנה אלוהים ביום ההוא את יבין מלך כנען לפני בני ישראל. And they were squashed, the Canaanites, with all the 900 chariots. Yeah, do you realize that you almost single-handed, well, God did all the groundwork, but you brought about this victory because you destroyed Sisera.
Peg.
A
With
peg.
only a simple peg of a tent.
That's a very interesting thing, Nachon, because here they were so sure of their power, the 900 chariots, and in the end, all it took was a peg.
Peg and a hammer. Wow.
A peg and a hammer. And God. Yes. Without that, it wouldn't have happened, okay? And kol hakavod. Very well done. Very nice. Again, your audience on the other side of Zoom land is also very pleased. Okay, beseder. Now, this was... Okay, so this was the end of... Oh, it's almost 1. So this was the end of Shmuel's account. Okay, so we basically have all the information, right? Even though the last bit is like a little bit like exciting with this and that, it's very it's like a report. It's more. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like this happened and this happened, this happened and this happened, right? And it does. There's no excitement of the battle. There's no tension of the weight, right? We're missing a lot of the emotions of things that were going on. There's no emotions. There's no emotions. Oh, you were looking for him? Here he is. Right? So I told you to say how you're responding, but there's no response in the chapter because it's just giving us a report of what took place. But sometimes, if you just give a report, you miss the whole story. You miss the whole story because, folks, this is a tremendous victory. This is a completely unexpected turn of events. That Morah was able to get rid of Sisera. And I just have to tell you, right? Sisera is not a Canaanite. Doesn't belong to these tribes. Sisera comes from one of the islands in the Aegean Ocean, like next to Greece over there. He is a very, very acclaimed general. It's not just they had a fight with a neighborhood bully. This is like I don't know, like a tremendously powerful army that's very, very professional, that's very well equipped. And this turn of events and this change and the whole projection of history is a tremendous change, because from now on, the Canaanim, who we know they were there from the beginning, they were still holding on. They were still making the presence. They were still stopping the Jewish people from continuing. From this point in time, history changes. They're not there anymore. They're not disturbing anymore, right? And they have like a freedom that didn't exist. So it's a tremendous, tremendous thing that takes place. And what we really need to do, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to do next week, is we're going to read the story all over again, but this time we're going to listen to Dvorah.
Cool.
And what's amazing is that Dvorah is going to put this whole story into spiritual context, into what she thinks is the context. This is also very interesting, the context that she creates for the story. We have a context. The context that Shmuel created is that cycle, how everything fit nicely into our cycle. Dvorah has an additional context that she's going to put it into. And we're also going to see a lot about how the tribes interact with each other. Her power as a leader, her spiritual power as a leader, right? She's going to, all the characters are going to come to life. The battle is going to come to life with sound, with color, right? And so it's going to be mamash interesting to see the same story again. So you have to hold on to the story in your head, because she's not going to bother giving us all the details. She assumes we know what happened. She's just adding all the other things that we need to know in order to really appreciate what took place. Beseder, so that Bezrat Hashem is going to be next week.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Besimcha.
Thank you.
Besimcha. Okay.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Nachon, I'm not used to it being Thursday yet. It's Thursday.
Time goes so fast.
Nachon. No, I'm just used. I usually, for the past few years, I taught on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. I haven't taught on Thursday for a long time. So all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's fire. Yes. Beseder, how are you feeling? Where are you at the moment? Are you in Israel or not?
I'm in Tel Aviv. I'm okay. The one that had the problem was my mother. She came to visit and she hurt her meniscus apparently immediately. So we couldn't walk we couldn't go to Batine. So
Wow.
we went to doctors and trying.
How is she feeling now?
She's feeling okay. The doctor said to rest, and so Beseder Hashem go to Batine.
Does she have a brace?
She does. It's mechanical.
Refuah shlema. Refuah shlema.
Amen.
Enjoy her visit.
Yes. Thank you for the class.
Bye bye.